Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salamu ala Rasulullah. We continue reading from Imam Al-Ghazali's Jawahir Quran, the Jews of the Quran. We are still reading the Jews from Surah Al-Nahl, the Surah of the bees. We have reached verse number 67, and we are using Muhammad Abu Qasim's translation. And this would be now bottom of page 111. The context, these verses, so 65, verse 65 mentions water, verse 66 mentions milk, verse 67, which we briefly dealt with, mentions alcohol, wine, really, and 68 mentions honey. Water is, needless to say, it is halal, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created every living organism from water. Like water is an essential part of the biological cycle. Milk is, subhanallah, that's exactly what babies begin with, and then of course whatever you create with milk, yogurt, cheese, etc. And I'm going to jump to 68 before going back to 67, and honey. And subhanallah, 67 mentions wine, sakara. And we'll read the verse again. So it is preceded with two halal drinks. It is followed by halal honey. So what's this? What does this verse tell us? Of the fruits of date palms and grapes you obtain an intoxicating drink as well as a good provision. Most surely in that is a sign for a people who make use of their understanding. لقوم يعقلون. So we have two parts, sakara and also rizqan hasanan, good provision. And by definition, if we have good provision, it means the one that the other part, the other component, it's not a good provision, obviously. You obtain an intoxicating drink. Is that what you make? That's what people make. And then we have rizqan hasanan. It doesn't say you make rizqan hasanan. You, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala provides you with the dates, it is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who provides you with the dates. It is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who provides you with the grapes. And Ibn Abbas, there are two chains of narrators ending up with the same statement, same tafsir. He said about tafsir of sakaran wa rizqan hasana. He said الرزق الحسن ما أحل من ثمرتها. The rizqan hasan and the good provision is that which is halal. You eat the dates, you eat the grapes, you make molasses from the both. There is molasses that is made from dates, palm dates, and of course from grapes. There are many things that you can make other than alcohol, other than wine. As-sakar, he said, Ibn Abbas, radiyallahu anhu, ma hurrima min thamarati, that which is haram, ultimately coming from its fruits. That's what people do. They ferment this, and so it's not that the presence of the sakara, it doesn't make it really halal. And as we said in the last session, the prohibition was gradual, and here it meant this is an early stage whereby uh, people who understand لقوم يعقلون, they understand that the Arabs had a very uh, excellent knowledge of Arabic. So when you say this is sakara and this is rizq hasan, they understand that the other said the other part min كل الثمرات. Of course, the it is primarily the flowers of practically everything. They know their business and they see things in a different way. And it does take, since this is followed now by the what comes out of the bees, there comes out of the bellies of the bees a drink of diverse hues, that is honey, of course, possessing healing qualities for people. In that is indeed a sign for a people who reflect. The bees need about they travel about 1 million times to make collecting uh, the 1 million trips to make 1 kilogram of honey, maybe even more than 1 million. And sustainability is not to take the honey from the bees and put sugar instead. And the honey does have healing qualities. Should not be given uh, to nursing babies. They still cannot. Uh, they're not ready for the honey. And from their bellies, subhanallah, it is the bees, for example, because really what they collect, they don't collect honey, they make honey. And also they make wax. They have an enzyme in their bellies, and they make the wax from the part of the sugar from the honey. Subhanallah. So we had water, milk, uh, of course, from the dates and the grapes, that which is many things, but it would include also grape juice, fresh, for example, or cool but no fermentation. Otherwise, it is haram. And number 4, we talk about honey, and it is described, subhanallah, sharab. It's described as a drink also, a drink of diverse hues. And in paradise, you have rivers of flowing rivers of water, milk, and honey, and you have and wine, but it does not intoxicate, as if what we have in this dunya is also meant as a reminder of that which is in the akhirah. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to include us amongst those whom He forgives and destined to paradise. I mean, God has created you, then He will cause you to die. There are some among you who are made to decrepit old age, in which they lose all knowledge after having acquired it. Surely God is all knowing, all powerful. والله خلقكم ثم يتوفاكم ومنكم من يرد إلى أرذل العمر كي لا يعلم بعد علم شيئا إن الله عليم قدير. Being created, life, birth, and ultimately death. Those who are their allotment is to live a long life, relatively speaking. Centurions, ultimately their cognitive abilities diminish. They diminish to the degree that ultimately they. And one of the things that I'm sure that people fear is dementia. To forget, to stop, basically. They cannot process new memories. They don't know who they are. They don't know the people around them. And it's not only old age, it's described as ardhal. It's not. So it's. I know of, some people of the people of the book. They wish each other to live until 120. That's basically their culture. And then later on, it became fashionable to say among themselves to wish the person to live until 100, as if she enjoys the abilities of those in their 20s. 120 became 100, similar to those who are 20, which is impossible. It's it's a wishful thinking indeed. If you live that long, things diminish. God has favored some of you over others. In the matter of provision, those whom are favored will by no means hand over a portion of their provision to those under control, so that they may be equal shares therein. Will they then deny God's favor? God has made of you wives of your own kind, has produced for you sons and grandsons from your wives, and has provided for you all kinds of wholesome things. Will they then believe in falsehood and deny God's favor? والله فضل بعضكم على بعض في الرزق فما الذين فضلوا براد رزقهم على ما ملكت أيمانهم فهم فيه سواء أفبنعمة الله يجحدون. I remember Imam Sha'rawi, the great Egyptian scholar, rahimahullah. He said that if all people turn out to become physicians, life on earth collapses. If there's You need every profession, and we know very well that كل لما يسر له خلق لما يسر له. You'd be directed. You'd say, I have chosen this and I have chosen that, and it might appear like this. This is the iktisab. but really you are directed. Uh, and some people will have more than other people in every respect. So there's provision, there's offspring, there's, and you don't give your that which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala rizq, which is a general word that covers many things. It could be part of your rizq is the spouse, part of your rizq is the offspring, part of your rizq is your financial wealth. There are many things that are part of your rizq. You don't really give up your rizq and give it to others. And it's a reminder that those who called for absolute equality, uh, remember the communist story, it failed, and it failed miserably. It within some 70 years, the whole story ended, and it seems that it ended for good. There are individuals here and there. That's a different story. That's a different story. There is no real communism, and like as a system. Even China is, you know, they still maintain a certain hierarchy in the political system, but the overall the economy itself is pretty much, though there's interference by the state, but it's pretty much capitalist. And they are the only country that is very close in terms of their the gross national product. It's close to the United States. The only country. Russia is very far. So for the Americans, it's China and Russia, but it's really China ultimately. That they know that this is where the competition, the strategic challenge comes primarily. Of course, Russia still is, but it's China down the road. It's not a unipolar leadership anymore. ولله غيب السماوات والأرض وما أمر الساعة إلا كلمح البصر أو هو أقرب إن الله على كل شيء قدير. To God belongs knowledge of the unseen, of the heavens and the earth. The coming of the hour is only like at the twinkling of an eye, or even quicker. To كلمح البصر. You blink, or even quicker. Surely God has the fullest power over everything. When you think this is really the very silly idea of claiming to be progressing, this the idea of continuous progress, that your charts will indicate uh, perpetual growth. That's impossible. That's impossible. They talk about progress, and we have destroyed the earth. We have destroyed we have polluted the oceans. We have this. People don't realize that even the that the sky, the hemisphere, because of all the rockets and the spaceships and There is there is really so much debris in the Earth's hemisphere. So we have polluted our our sky, our earth, and our oceans, seas, and lakes. And I have seen lakes where obviously acid has killed uh, life. You can see that the trees were dead, eerie, yeah. And ultimately, life on Earth has to come to an end, and that would be very quick. When it happens, it's very, very quick. And now about our how we are born cognitively, what happens to us. Uh, it's an amazing verse about our um cognitive abilities and what senses are available to us immediately. And the order is also very important. God brought you forth from the wombs of your mothers when you knew nothing and gave you ears, eyes, and hearts that you may be grateful. In fact, in Arabic, gave you hearing, sight, and the hearts, الأفئدة. Muslim scholars said that this is the intellect, and that's the order of things. Subhanallah. We know very well today that when you are born, you can hear immediately. Your sight is needs time, plenty of time. You might start seeing shadows, incomplete pictures. You need time to see the details, and ultimately the intellect reaching discernment. So the order here in the Quran is exactly the order that in reality, that you may be grateful. Subhanallah, our ability uh, to have a picture of the world, to understand, to ponder. Ultimately, remember the invitation, the Quran. وَتَفَكَّرُونَ فِي خَلْقِ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ. It's an invitation to ponder, to think, to about the creation of the heavens and the earth. Do they not see the birds held under control in the vault of heaven? It is only God who keeps them back from swooping down. And that are indeed signs, in bracket, between two brackets, of His power and wisdom for a people who believe. Meaning that it is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who decreed that the birds would fly, that we will walk, and there are those who whose ability is to swim, and there are those who can swim and crawl, and we can swim, but we don't live in the sea. God has made you homes. God has made your homes your places of rest, and has made for you of the skins of cattle houses, that is, tents, which are easy for you to transport and easy to set up. He provides for you from the wool, furs, and hair of cattle, household goods and articles for use over a period. God has made for you of that which He has created, trees and other means of shade. He has made for you places of shelter in the mountains. He has made for you garments which protect you from heat, and coats of mail which protect you in battle. That which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala uh, inspired Prophet David, Sayyidina Dawood alayhi salam, to make these mails, coats of mail. Thus he completes his bounty upon you, that you may wholly submit to him, subhanahu wa ta'ala. Had God enforced his will, he would surely have made you all one religious community. But he leads astray whom he pleases and guides whom he pleases. You will certainly be asked about what you are doing. One one last comment during this session. The reference to the mountains as a place for uh, for housing. I can see this as a. I wish that we would really understand this Quranic important message, because I see many times many communities build their homes in the on a land that is really agricultural land, so that would be lost land, and the rocky hills around them, rocky mountains, they leave them. They are not good for agriculture. We would do much better if we simply use the mountains for housing and use the fertile land for agriculture. This way we conclude the jewels, the verses from Surah Al-Nahl. Inshallah, in the next session we will deal with Surah Al-Isra. The children of Israel also, it is called the journey at night, night journey if you will, but also it is called the Surah of Banu Israel, and there are 9 verses. So until then, سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.